G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. I'm going to do another one of these amazing waves that I did the other day. This was the single wave, as you can see, and this was the double wave. And literally they take just a few minutes, so very easy. The actual coaster underneath obviously would take you a bit longer, but as far as the waves go, a couple of minutes, that's it, a few minutes. All right, so we're going to go again with those. If you saw that video, I was telling you about these little coasters that I bought. These are just from Coles, and they're bamboo. Let's see if I can get them out. And I thought they would be really nice to pour in. Look at that. And you could do a set of 4 if you wanted to, but today I'm just going to do the one. Let's do that one. I like that one. So what I thought I would do, there's a bit of depth in them, and I've got round ones as well. They're slightly darker though, but today, beachy, I'm going to go with the lighter ones. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cover, I think I'm going to cover the whole thing with a little bit of sand. So I just got some sand in my little cup there, and I'm going to pop some UV resin in it. So I'm going to use the UV resin from Let's Resin. It does come in a bigger bottle, so I'm going to have to get myself one because this one's almost empty. So let's just pour some in there. I will link Let's Resin's website, their UK Amazon store, their US Amazon store for you down below in the description. And there's also coupon codes there as well. So you can go and have a look. Whoops, I'm going to use quite a lot of UV resin, aren't I? So I want it to be quite runny. So yeah, as I was saying, you can use those links and you can buy anything you want from there. And they've got the UV resin. And I'll show you in a minute. I'm also going to be using these, but I'm just going to finish putting the clear in. It looks as if I'm using a lot, but I'm not. It's just, it's taking a while to come out of the little nozzle, that's all. Make sure you cover it because just normal daylight, sunlight will, you know, cure your resin. So if you're working near a window, you've just got to be aware that the sun coming in may cure the top there. So keep it covered. All right, I added a little bit more. So the good thing with UV resin is if you've made up a little bit too much, you can just cover that maybe with a paper cup and put it to the side and you can use it later. It's not going to go off and cure like regular resin does. So yeah, it's a good little thing about it, isn't it? You can use it later. So I'm in two minds about whether just to put a little bit of sand and then my colours, or fill the whole thing and then the colours, because I'm going to cover a lot of it with my foam anyway, but it's nice to sort of see the colours through the foam. So I'll just put a little bit on anyway to start with, and we'll just see what it's going to look like. I'm just going to kind of just put a little bit on. Now remember, it's UV resin, so you can't make it too thick. Can't cure from the back of these because they're timber, obviously, so make sure that you use a very thin layer that's going to cure. Otherwise you'll end up with uncured sticky resin, and that's not good. I'm just trying to spread it as thinly as possible. It's not that easy. Trying to get a thin layer. All right, there we go. And I don't mind if you see some of the bamboo underneath because it's a similar sort of color to the beachy anyway, so not fussed about that. I guess you could cure your sand in a couple of layers, but once it's cured, it's, you know, it's gone hard and it's difficult to push your sand around, so probably easier just doing it in one layer, but just make sure that it's thin. Now I'll just let it settle, make sure that it's leveled itself out. Give it a bit of a bang just to get the bubbles out. All right, so that's that done. Now the other thing I'm going to do just before I cure it is I'm going to put a little layer of clear. Just like so. Actually, no, I might just do the whole thing. Well, obviously I'm not doing the whole thing in sand, am I? I've obviously changed my mind. I'll keep that. I've got one of the others. Maybe I'll do the other one in full sand and we'll see what the difference is. All right, so I'm going to use lake green, which is like a aqua color, and blue. So I've nearly run out of my blue in here because I use it quite a lot. So I've got a bigger blue, and this one came in the kit, the UV resin kit from Let's Resin. There's 12 different colors. That's them there. So I think I'm using that one. Not sure. There's a green and there's a lake green, which is I think more of an aqua. So that's it there. So good to have. But like I said, I'm just using these two. So if you put a little layer of clear between whatever you're using in your next color, the next color won't go over your sand. So that's why I'm doing that. But look at that color. Isn't it gorgeous? Loving it. So that'll kind of just stop those two colors kind of melding together. And I don't want it to be too sort of straight. It's a really pretty color, isn't it? I haven't done a lot with UV resin, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's great. It's so easy. You don't need a lot of time. You don't need a lot of space. You don't need a lot of money, really. Okay, so this is our darker blue. See there? I wonder if I can actually mix some of these two together to make like a... I wonder if I can do that. Just where they're joined, kind of mix the two together. But like I said, you're not gonna really see a lot of it because I'm gonna cover it with foam. Not all of it. Not all of it. I'll kind of blend these two together here. So we get a lighter blue and a darker blue. It doesn't sort of, I guess, oh, maybe it is blending. Okay, I was going to say it doesn't blend as well as regular resin, but I just need to work it a little bit more. But you can still see where the two colours kind of join. Just wipe that stick with my paper towel. I might have a look at the green. Where's the green? Caramel, yellow, purple, pink, black, peach, green. Let's have a look at the green. Only because against the timber, you can't really see it all that well. Okay, it's more like a limey green, I guess. Whoops, now I'm stuck. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right. Probably preferred the lake green actually to the lime green, but like I said, I'm going to be covering it with waves, with sea foam, so you're probably not even going to see it. All right, let's get that cured. You can torch it if you want to, like regular resin. What's going on down here? Is this bubbles? Oh, look, it's just bubbles. There we go. Just bubbles in my sand. All right. See, my sand's kind of spread a bit. Actually, no, it hasn't spread. The bluey colours come over a little bit. All right, let's get this cured. I'm going to do that for... Put the lids on there. I'm going to do those for 2 minutes. Actually, that's 1 minute and it's already done. I don't want to overdo it because it's going to have other, like multiple heatings over the top of that. I probably should have just stuck to the blue all over in hindsight, just because the light green and the green isn't that dark. But I'm going to cover it with, put that in there. I'm going to cover it with foam. Now, the foam, I have added a little bit of Dawn dishwashing soap to some water. Now, the mixture that I made up yesterday, add a little bit of water, and I put probably 3 splashes of Dawn in there. And a few people said, you know, put it in a container with a lid and shake it. And I did with this one, and I just got billions and billions of teensy tiny little bubbles. And I thought, no, that's not good. So then I got another container, and I put a little bit of water in it, and I just poured like a splash of this into that. And then I put the lid on, and I gave it a shake. And that gave me better bubbles. So I don't want them too big, and I don't want them too small, but I do want them like a bit bigger for this today. So look at that, you can see them already in there. So that worked. Less is more with the dish soap. I thought adding more would make more bubbles, but I guess it did, but they were tinier bubbles. So yeah, I want bigger bubbles today. All right, the white for the foam. So I'm using the white resin that came in the kit, and I am going to add probably a little bit of the Let's Resin white alcohol ink as well, just to make it a little bit darker, because it's quite a transparent white. How much will I need? Again, it doesn't matter if you put in a bit much. You can just cover it. Actually, I should cover that now that I'm thinking about it. I've just got like a little paper cup that the sun's not going to come through, and we're going to do that and just put it to the side. So we'll keep that for another day. All right, a little bit of white alcohol ink. You want it white, but not too opaque. Okay, that one hasn't been opened before. They come with this little piercer thing, and it's got a little needle in there, and you just need to pierce the top. But it can be a little bit messy, so wear your gloves. That one was pretty good, actually. Let's do a little drop. One little drop. Get in there. Oh gosh, I don't think I made the hole big enough. Where's my little stirrer go? Okay, here we go. I'm going to add it slowly. Add it slowly. Give it a good shake, because the pigment sits at the bottom, and then the top, you know, is alcohol, just alcohol really. So make sure that you give it a good shake, like so. All right, let's see if we can get one drop. There we go, one drop. So I'd rather do it slowly and do a drop at a time until I get the color that I want. So I want to try and keep it a little bit transparent, because I want to see the you know, the blue through there. Do another 2. Obviously, if you're using pigment paste, for these ones I used pigment paste, and obviously it's a lot stronger. But you can just stir it until you get, add it until you get the color that you want. It's easier than going the opposite way and putting too much paste in, and then you can't take it out. A little bit more. Whoops, how's that looking? The good thing with these little silicone cups is you can pop them under your curing machine when you're curing your piece at the end of your pour, and it'll get nice and cured, and you can just peel it out. I'm going to add a little bit more. Oh gosh, that's all froth on the top there. Where's my big torch? Oh, this will have to do. Just want to add a little bit more sand. I think what happens is the sand sinks and then the clear resin sort of sits over the top, so it's probably a good idea to torch it quickly. Not torch it, put it under the UV lamp quickly before the sand sinks too much, and then that clear UV resin comes over the top, if you know what I mean. I didn't realise that until after I'd done it, because I was fiddling around with the other colours and I came back and all my sand had sunk. I think that's what happened anyway. But look, this is the first time I'm doing this. I've never ever put sand in UV resin before, so I'm learning along the way. Alright, we'll torch that real quick, just for a minute. I'll clean up here. Don't be concerned about that. Look, one of the puppies scratched me and I got like a blood blister underneath. I know people sort of say, oh, you need to go and get things like that checked, but it's just a blood blister, so don't be concerned. But thanks for the concern. All right, so I'm going to pop that back under its little lid there. Oh, gosh. Ooh. Make sure that you move your white out of the way of your UV lamp. All right, so that's the 60 seconds up. Okay, I'm liking that better. It's done. All right, now to our white. Hopefully it's dark enough. I didn't want to make it too dark. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, I guess I could pour, but no, let's just do the stick. I'm going to just do along here, remembering that our sand now is double thickness because I've put an extra layer on the sand. I will sort of top coat this anyway with some clear. We don't want to make it too dark, all right? Keep it nice and like, don't make it too thick. You'll get a different type of foam if you make it like your resin too thick. And I'm just going to kind of jagged the edges a little bit, just because I don't want a straight line. And just kind of try and smooth it over as best as possible. Now we'll take that and put it well away from the UV lamp. We don't want that to start curing. All right, the bubbles. Now the bubbles are still in there. Gave it a bit of a shake. All right, look at that. I'm not going to shake it anymore because I like the size of those bubbles. Those are actually quite nice. So just going to use our little stick here. Cover the whole surface with bubbles. Make sure that you're going right up over those edges. Okay, put the lid on. The bubbles seem to stay when you put the lid on. Okay, here we go, torching. Yay! Fun part. I love the bubbles. But yeah, if you wanted, you could just give it a bit of a shake. And you can keep your water in there, your bubble water, for, you know, next time you want to use it. You can just stay in there for however long you want. And then when you're ready, just shake it up again. And yeah, I'm enjoying using the UV resin. I haven't done a lot of it, but yeah, it's good. Like I said, you don't need to buy gallons and gallons of resin. You don't need to have a lot of room. You can just use it like in the corner of on a table somewhere in the corner of your house if you don't have a studio, and you can still create gorgeous things. I'm going to do this pendant next with some sand and some water and a bit of sea foam on that one. So that'll be coming up soon as well. We'll watch that one. Okay, so we've got 7 seconds left. This has got lots and lots of lights on the inside. I really like that one. So when you're choosing a lamp, get one that's got lots of lights. I am hopefully getting the Let's Resin UV lamp. So I wanted the one that had the little shelf that you can cure from the top and the bottom. So, all right, let's have a look at this. I'm liking the size of those. Now, just get a piece of paper towel, pat dry, bit of pressure, pat dry. There's a bit of water there. Move it over. Make sure that it's all dry. What do you think of the size of those? They're much, well, they're bigger than those ones. And this one I wanted bigger just because I wanted to try it. This first one down here, they're really small. Again, it depends on the size that, you know, of your shaking. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to give the base here where the sand meets the water. We want to give that a little bit of a highlight there. So it looks as if it's that foam that's rolling in onto the beach. So to do that, we come in again with our white and we just put it again where we want it. And again, this is totally up to you how much you want to use. I like having it a little bit thicker, like where the lower parts are, like that. Just, I think it looks kind of more natural, just where the water is sort of rolling in over the sand, just a little bit thicker there, like so. Move that out of the way. I keep forgetting to move it out of the way. All right, let's cure that. Actually, I want to make sure that it's touching the edges. Okay, curing, and we'll give that another minute, I guess. It hasn't quite been a minute, but let's check it. Yep, that's fine. Now, have you ever used white resin, like regular resin, and you've heated it too much and it's gone yellow, like you burn it? So this gets hot as well. So just be careful that you don't overcook your resin. Now, I want to do another layer. I do. Because one's not enough. I want to do more. So the other thing is, like, you know, if you're doing like a huge piece of wall art, this is probably not the technique for you. You're probably going to need to go back to your thick resin and your torch, and you know how you push the waves like that with your heat gun, and then you torch them. So that's you know, a better option if you're doing a big piece. But if you're doing a little coaster or some pendants and things like that, I think this is perfect. Perfect. All right, now I'm going to sort of follow the shape here. I'm going to put another layer down. I'm going to kind of bring that in a little bit more, just so it's not too same. Bring it down a little bit, because waves aren't straight, you know, they're not straight. So give it the shape that you want it, and then push out a little bit into your colour. Doesn't matter if you've overlapped down here, it's not going to be a problem. And I guess we do want to see some blue. I had a lot of people saying on this one, you've covered all the blue. Yeah, I know, it was just to show you how to do the waves, like, yeah. But, yeah, up to you how much, obviously, you want to use. So I think that will be about it. Again, I don't want to have it like a little bit jaggedy. You don't want a straight line. Make it a little bit sort of jaggedy on the edges. And don't make your resin too thick. Spread it out a little bit. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. It's fine for now. And let's give this another bit of a shake. Like so. Look at that! Oh my gosh. Like a kid in a candy store. Alright, here we go. With our bubbles. Put those on. Make sure they go right up over your top area there. And torch. Well, not torch, you know what I mean. UV heat. Clean up now because I'm not going to do another layer. Close that, put that aside. I'm going to have to get myself a little plastic box for just UV resin, and I can put this in it, and I can put this in it, and this, and this, and this, and this, and my leftover sand. Put everything together in my UV box, and then I just bring it out when I'm doing UV resin, and you know, all my little things like this. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to go and find a box. So do that. All right, 10 seconds. I think it should be okay. Let's dry that off. Now, I guess if you particularly wanted to, you could just do bubbles on the whole thing and then come back and do, you know, your line, your white line to, that's my sand, that's not the one I want. But yeah, I just prefer to do it this way where I have more control over where everything's going. And another row of the white. Whoops. Just got enough, you guys. Just got enough. And again, I'll try and make my little edges here a little bit thicker. Totally up to you how you want to do it. So that's it, and that's done. So I'll wipe my stick off, but I'm going to pop that under there and let that cure, and give that another minute. I'll just leave that cooking away there while I start cleaning up a bit. I wanted to show you these as well. The little paint palette, little cups. They're really good for mixing your UV resin in as well. So if you don't have the little, that one, these are great too. I think I got that in like a 10 pack. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. But again, you can cure your resin in there and then scrape out your old resin so that you can use it again. All right. Is this cured? Is it ready to go? I think so. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to do a clear coat. What do you think of my bubbles? There's the other one. Just different. Now this one you can see I have put much more color in the white. And again, that's totally up to you which way you want to go. This one, because I did the timber and it's kind of a more sort of pale, natural kind of look. I haven't made them quite as white as that, but again, totally up to you which way you want to go. So now you can do one of two things. You can mix up some regular resin. You can use the Let's Resin Fast Cure resin. Just mix up a little bit, or if you're making something else, you can just pour a little bit all over that. Or you can use the UV resin. So either works. I don't have that much in there. It's only a little bit left. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to mix up a little bit of, put this away, of my Fast Cure resin. This one. Mix some of that up and we'll do the top coat. So what I would do, instead of just stopping here, I'm going to actually take it right to the edges and dome the top. So I'll mix that up and we'll get on to the next step. I just gave it another minute just to be on the safe side. Make sure everything has cured properly. I don't want uncured resin under this resin. So this, if we turn it inside out, it should just sort of come off. Look at that. And if there's any little loose bits like that, some little pieces, you can use your tape and just get them off with your tape as well, like that. So easy cleanup. I think that's got it pretty much. And then pop it back, and there you go, it's clean. And there's your rubbish. All right, moving on. I just made up half an ounce of A, half an ounce of B, so 15 grams of each, and we'll pour that on. So what I like to do is, when I'm doing a top coat of something, I like to pour a little bit in the center. I don't know how much I'm going to use yet. Now I have got a little piece of plastic on my bench there just in case I drip. So I like to start with a little bit in the center, and then I just work that out with the stick, and I just push it over like that. Actually literally bring my stick over the edge of whatever it is I'm coating. You do need to use a thicker resin. A thicker resin will work better. Some of the thinner resins will sort of start pulling away from the edge and you'll have bald spots. So that's two reasons for that. Your resin's either too thin, and if you've only got a thin resin, you can wait until it's thickened up, or you just need to put a little bit more resin on to actually cover the whole surface if it's pulling back. I've got some little baby bubbles inside there. I don't know if that's because of the resin that I've just added that's getting caught in those sea foam bubbles, but it looks pretty cute. Bubbles inside bubbles. I'll take you down so you can see. They may come up, or I might be able to torch them. I don't know if I want them there or not. I'll have a little bit more resin. And again, make sure that you're pushing it right to the edges. The resin will want to kind of stick to the side and just cling there. It's not going to want to run over the edges unless you put too much on and it's got nowhere else to go. It's just going to flow over the edges. But yeah, that's why I just start with a little bit in the middle, and then I can add more just to cover it. And there we go. Look at that. Pretty easy. Put a little bit more there because I can see a little bit of the foam poking through. But yeah, it's a nice thick resin. It's good for top coating. I'll bring you down so you can have a look at these bubbles inside bubbles. I don't know if you can see them from there. Just got to make sure that everything has been covered and nothing's poking out. So it's a good idea, you know, to make sure that you're not coming up too high with your sand and your waves and things. I mean, you will cover a decent amount of it with your top coat, but don't get carried away and make it too deep. There's a little bit there that's poking through. All right, let's go down and have a little look-see at these bubbles inside bubbles. Look at that. Bubbles in bubbles. So I think, whoops, reaching over here. I think to kind of get them out, I don't know whether or not it would be difficult. I'd have to kind of go into each one. Yeah, I don't know that I want to do that. I could probably just torch. Although I think I prefer them without the bubbles in the bubbles. So knowing me being a bit pedantic, I probably will go and kind of scoop each one out. But I'll see what the torch does to them first. If it'll get any of them out. Otherwise, I'm probably going to have to go in and pick them out. Sorry, the camera doesn't know what to focus on, the stick or the resin. So anyway, I'm going to go and do that for a couple of minutes. There's no unmolding to do as such, but look, when it's finished, I will show you. See, there's a little bit there. You can see the edge there that's needs to be coated. So we'll just pop a little bit more on. Like so. I'm going to do it one-handed. All right. So there we go. Looking good. Need to put a little bit more just there. See that little bit there? You can see where you need to add a little bit more. But yeah, you can, I mean, you can certainly add more. Just don't be crazy about it and pour the whole cup over, because it'll probably overflow. But yeah, just do it slowly. Add little bits. And the coaster or the pendant or whatever you're using will tell you when it's got enough resin on it. All right, I'll see you later on today for the non-unmolding. Okay, so here it is. It's all done. Looks amazing. Crystal clear. And yeah, very happy with it. Let me know what you think of it. Some of the areas there, the little sea foams are clear, so you can see right through to the sand. And then others are sort of more sort of white, like that. So yeah, you get both, depending on, I guess, how thick you put your resin down, your white resin. So up to you which way you want to go, what you prefer. But yeah, it's really pretty, isn't it? So there it is. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a go. It's pretty easy. And yeah, I'd love to see what you do. So jump on Pouring Your Heart Out on the Facebook page and show me what you do. I'd love to see it. Okay, take care, guys. Bye for now.